In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to tell when you need to hire a virtual assistant and then also how to hire the best one possible for 2023. As someone who runs a virtual assistant staffing agency, I know the 4 key do's and don'ts of hiring a virtual assistant and how to avoid the most common mistakes when it comes to hiring VAs. Make sure to stay tuned for tip number 4 to see how to actually prepare for a VA. So to start off, we need to figure out what is a virtual assistant. A virtual assistant is somebody that really does a lot of administrative roles in your company, and it's somebody who's typically offshore or at least remote talent. So they could be US based or they could be based, for example, in the Philippines, in India, wherever, but they are largely providing administrative services to your company. Now, a common misconception is that all VAs are executive assistants, so they only help you with your calendar, with your email inbox, things like that. But the role can be quite expansive and they can do a lot of different things in your company other than just that personal assistant, executive assistant type role. The second point I wanted to discuss is when not to hire a VA. If you are early on in the business, if it's really only you in the company, and especially if your customer fulfillment and customer acquisition processes, if they're pretty custom still, if they're pretty unique to each new customer, then you're not really ready for a VA, especially if you don't have enough on your plate to really spill over enough to hire a VA. And those are pretty obvious tips, but we do have some people that think they want a VA just because it sounds nice and convenient. But if your business is still very custom and it's very difficult to have anything repeatable, any repeatable tasks, you're probably not ready for a VA. The third point I want to mention is when you should hire a VA. And this is if your systems and processes and sales process, fulfillment process, all of those things are down pat. You know exactly what's going to happen to your customer as they enter in your funnel, as they buy your product, use your service, whatever it is, and as they leave or come back to your product and service. So all of those things, if those are all in place and you know exactly what needs to be done throughout that entire system, then you're probably ready to hire a VA because now you can just insert that VA into one step of the process, like lead generation, for example, or customer fulfillment even. And you have the process you need, and you just need to teach that process to the VA, and then they can be doing that repeatable task instead of you. So my last point is before you hire a VA, you need to make sure that you have a few things in place. The first one being a project management tool. You need somewhere where all of your trainings live. You also need somewhere where you are going to assign tasks and projects to your VA. And then you can have some basic visibility on what they're doing and how much progress they're making on each task or project. Now, we've already mentioned it, but you do need systems and processes in place. And then that also means a training on those systems and processes. So for example, you could have a piece of your customer fulfillment process that you typically do, but next time you do that task, just turn on a screen recorder like Loom and have some commentary while you actually complete that task. And now once you've completed the task, it has this commentary of you showing somebody how to do it. You can have that Loom video or screen recorded video and give that to your future VA. And they could probably know the task and know exactly what they need to do just based off that very off the cuff, on the fly training video. So it's really not asking you to do a lot of extra work to prepare for a VA. It's literally just turning on a screen recorder as you do a lot of these tasks and then handing that recorded video to your future VA or employee, whoever it is taking over that process. Now that you know if you're ready for a virtual assistant, watch my next video to see where to find the best virtual assistants.